getting a lot of really good comments on my reel about the state pension and how we're going to pay for it going forward. One thing that keeps coming up is the fact, understandably, that you've paid into the system for 30, 40, 50 years in some cases, and you want your money back. Totally understandable. But what you need to realise is that the state pension is basically a Ponzi scheme. There is no pot of money invested for your future. The money that you've been paying in for the last 30, 40, 50 years has immediately gone out to paying the retirees that were retired at the time that you were working. Your pension will be paid by the people who are working when you retire. And the problem is, because there is no pot of money, your money has not been invested. I mean, this is what I always used to think. I used to assume that the money I paid in with national insurance, etc., was put into a little pot and it was invested for me, for my future. No, that money's gone. It's gone by the end of the year. It's just out there paying other people. So what we need to have is enough workers when you're retired to pay for your state pension. That's how it's worked. It's worked like that. I say worked, that's the way it's been for decades. I don't think it's a good system. As I say, it's a Ponzi scheme, essentially. Look up Charles Ponzi. You'll see what a Ponzi scheme is if you don't already know. And it just, it works as long as it works. But as soon as the music stops, as soon as you don't have enough workers to cover the payments for the current retirees, then you have a problem. And we're coming very close to that situation already. So what are we going to do if and when we have too few workers and too many retirees? How's it going to be paid? That's my question.
Here we go again. They can't seem to leave us alone. And when do you think you was going to be able to retire? Because state pension is set to increase to the age of 67 between 2026 and 2028. Now they're trying to say, what age do you think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, now they're trying to say they're going to set the state pension age to the age of 70. Okay, so again, can you remember the good old days? I'm 45 this year. Yeah, I can remember when I was in school. Do you remember having to put together a 5-year plan for when you leave school? What do you want to achieve? And back then, we all thought we could retire at 50. Can I retire in 5 years' time? No, I definitely can't, unless I have a nice lottery win, which you don't gamble. So, when will it stop? Will the new state pension be pushed to the age of 70? And like I say, at the moment, it's looking to go to 67 between 2026 to 2028. If it's going to be pushed to 70, exactly when that's going to be, they've not said that at the moment. So it means it's another 3 years on top of the supposed 67 that it's been changed to. So by the time we get to that point, will they then increase it again? Would it be 72, 73? Will it get to a point that state pension will have to carry on working until the age of 75, 80? Don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, people.
What in the broken Britain, two-tier care, BBC monopolising, council tax hiking bullshit is this? So, news update. Anybody with an internet connection in the UK are soon going to have to pay a BBC TV licence. Yes, you heard it right. They're now thinking about charging people that don't even watch the BBC for using things like Netflix, Disney Plus, the streaming services. Methinks their ship is sinking. Oh, and it gets better. Can you remember when Two-Tier Care came on and he said, "There absolutely will not be a 1 penny rise on your council tax. Absolutely not a penny." Well, 1st of April 2025, some UK councils are putting their council tax up by 25%. Absolutely not a penny will be increased on your council tax. So my message to you all, and the UK government, and the BBC, is there will be a moment when people cancel their direct debits for not only their TV licence, but also their council tax. Can you remember that film called A Bug's Life, where the locusts were in charge and there was probably a dozen of them, and they had a meeting, and the leader said, the moment those ants realise that they outnumber us 1,000,000 to 1, it is over for us. Well, I think some of the ants in the UK are starting to realise that this is all one big con. Because let's face it, a 25% hike on your council tax, and some councils are going to a 4-weekly bin collection. There isn't a pothole repair that's taken place in the last 6 months. The drains are always clogged up. The police are nowhere to be seen. And they're turning the street lights off at midnight, so everywhere's pitch black. More money, less services.
TV license? You guys have something called a TV license in this country? It says we're breaching the Communications Act of 2003. If you do not have a TV license to cover watching or recording live TV on any channel or device, and everything on BBC iPlayer. Okay, so we have a telly, but we don't watch anything but DVDs on it. That doesn't mean we're under this, right? What's a TV license? This is so baffling. So when we moved here from the States, we only had a few TVs with us, and only one had the correct voltage that we could plug in here. And of course, it's the one that's not a smart television. So we just watch some DVDs every once in a while on it. Otherwise, it's just decoration in the living room. But it says you could be interviewed under caution in accordance with the national criminal law and could lead to prosecution. And it says you can be fined up to £1,000. But it says that since they have no record of us having a TV license at this address, they're going to continue their investigation and to expect a visit from enforcement officers in our area. Are you kidding me right now? A TV license. I was like, this makes no sense. I mean, we might watch some stuff on our telephones with data, but do we have to pay to watch DVDs on our own television? Because we're not watching it or recording live TV. I just can't believe you guys have a TV license here that you have to pay for. This is so strange. So is that an addition to a prescription or something? I don't know. What's a TV license?
The TV licence could soon be paired with your council tax. This is what the government say they may be doing. Not only are they going to increase your TV licence by around £5 starting in a month or so, they're also going to add more to your council tax. So it's going to be basically one big bundle where you pay your council tax and the TV licence all in one payment. Now, the BBC have been asked, why don't they just do a Netflix style? So if you want, news, you pay £5 a month. If you want the TV, pay £5 a month. EastEnders, just cut it into bite-sized bits and let people choose what they want to subscribe to. But this was dismissed. They're putting their prices up, and they could be bundling it with council tax, another thing people hate to pay. So not only will you be paying more for your TV licence, more for your council tax, they could be combined. So I think this is a really bad idea. One, to have the TV licence in the first place. Two, to put the prices up and then added it with council tax. It is such a Labour idea. I can really see it happening, but I'm still not going to pay for a TV licence.
TV licence can suck my entire arsehole because I've had enough of them trying to get money out of me. I've had an email today saying that I need to update my I don't need a licence claim. Okay, so then I go on it and I'm clicking all the buttons and there's questions like, do you use BBC iPlayer? Do I fuck you? I want to watch on it. Do you watch live streaming TV through Channel 4 or Channel 5 apps or ITV? No, I don't. I don't watch TV at all. Do you live stream through YouTube? No, I don't. And then there was another one as well. Can't remember what it was, but it was a bunch of stuff that I don't even recognise the apps for. No, funnily enough, I don't. You're lucky if you can get me off TikTok to watch anything, okay? The only thing I watch is TikTok, so unless you're going to start licensing that shit, which no you aren't, I'm not watching TV. And my kid, who's the only other person I live with, exclusively only turns the TV on to play his video games. We don't watch TV, right? I might watch something on Netflix here and there if there's a show that I want to watch. I might watch a film on Disney Plus, and sometimes I'll treat myself to a little Smosh video on YouTube, right? An old Smosh video. That's it. We don't watch TV, right? Because yeah. And they're telling me that I still need, or even though I've said no to all of this stuff, you still need a TV license. How about suck an entire How about that? How about eat every I am not paying a TV license. No, because I don't need it. Because your thing has just told me that I don't do any of the stuff that I need a license for. So I just get fuck signed. Why are they like this? Why do you feel like you need to dip into my pocket for something I don't even use? Like, it absolutely baffles me. You know, if they come for me, I'm going to kick clean off. I've never needed a TV license since I got the internet, because I don't use live streaming at all. When I don't use BBC iPlayer, I'm not interested in any of that shit. And yet, here they are.
Guys, coming from an American living in England, one of my worst fears just came true. So there's this guy, and he's like walking back and forth. I'm trying not to make eye contact, and then we do, and then my doorbell rings, and I'm like, oh my God. So I get up, go answer my door. I'm dressed like this. Haven't even finished my coffee for the day. And he's like, hello, do you live here? I'm like, I do. And he's like, oh, well, I'm here for your TV license. I have been dreading this day since I moved here. I know what a TV license is, but I'm going to play dumb. I'm like, I'm an American. I don't really know how any of that works. My husband's not here. And he's like, oh, that's great. In that case, I'll just leave you a note. We normally come in to do an inspection. Bitch, you are not coming up in my house. I got the Southern hospitality, but things can get real redneck real fast if you want it to be that way. Okay? So anyway, I'm just like, we don't watch live TV. And he's like, well, even if you have a TV set up in your house and you watch streaming services, you still have to pay for a TV license. But if you talk to your husband, he'll talk you through all that. Oh, get the away. Get the fuck away. I'm staying cool, calm, and collected, and I'm just like, okay, well, thanks for coming by. I'll talk to him about it. Have a good day. Shut the door. I'm ignoring it. He told me that it was real important and not to ignore it, but I'm going to. I'm not doing that. I think that is so stupid. I love everything about England, but a TV license is so stupid. It's so dumb.
The UK government wants to change the rules so that we have to pay the TV licence even when we're not watching live BBC programmes. We might choose to watch YouTube, Netflix, Paramount, Disney, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and we don't have to therefore pay for the TV licence. Well, the government wants to change that. It wants to make it so that you have to pay for a TV licence even though you're not watching the BBC or ITV or any live programmes which are transmitted from that awful organisation. I personally don't watch live TV. I hate the BBC. Personally, that's just my choice. So I don't have to pay a TV licence, but yet there are those that want to watch it. That's fine. But for us who don't want to watch it, why would you want to make us pay for a TV licence? It's obvious. The whole thing's bankrupt. It's not got enough money coming in to make it shitty programmes, and there's plenty of those, let's face it. The BBC is biased. I personally see it as a propaganda arm of the government. That's my own personal opinion. Now, if this comes in, this will be atrocious, because a lot of us do love Netflix and we love watching all that rubbish junk programming that they try to put in our heads. But if we have to pay a TV license, I'm finished with Netflix as well, and I'm finished with Amazon Prime, and I'm finished with Disney Plus and Amazon TV, Apple TV and all that stuff. I'm finished with it. So hopefully this ain't going to come in, because this will be very, very, very unpopular, and quite rightly.
England, you've done enough. You've done enough, because it's 2025. Why am I still receiving letters about paying for my TV licensing? Like, bro, all I do is watch Netflix or YouTube. But apparently now, if you have Netflix or YouTube or Amazon Prime on your thing, you've got to pay TV licensing. So you're telling me that I'm paying $10.99 for Netflix, £8 for fucking Amazon, and then whatever I'm paying for Disney Plus, and I still have to pay TV licensing. Bro, where else are they doing this? Like, getting letters saying that I have a 10-day window to pay for TV licensing is absurd. I know I'm not the only one that's not paying for it. If you're paying for it, you're a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know.
The UK is being invaded and the government are doing nothing about it. 2 British Army companies worth of migrants crossed the British Channel yesterday. 656 of them. Arriving from France, a safe country, but will claim asylum in the UK nonetheless. 656 is 40% of the birth rate on an average day in Britain. How much longer is this going to keep happening? Millions of British people live in desperate poverty and can't even afford to look after their own families. Yet £5 billion was spent on asylum seekers last year alone. But there is never any money left for British people. The NHS is overwhelmed, schools are full, and roads are crumbling. How much longer will this be brushed under the carpet? How much longer will people keep blaming the Tories? Labour have been in power for 9 months now, and it just keeps getting worse. And the hundreds of millions of pounds that we give to France to stop the crossings? Guess what? They're helping them, giving them their life jackets, and then having the cheek to ask for them back. Britain is an absolute mess. Let me know what you think of this in the comments.
Yo, some massive UK immigration news has just dropped. Our PM Keir Starmer has made some big changes. So now people will have to wait 10 years to apply for citizenship. Let's break down the details. So before, in the UK, migrants would have to wait 5 years to apply for a UK citizenship, and Keir Starmer has just doubled that to 10 years. But there is still a way of fast-tracking through to citizenship. Have a look at this. So the Labour government is calling this a contributions system. So if you are an NHS worker, a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, or very good with AI, or you pay a serious amount of tax, and you will be fast-tracked to get citizenship within the UK. Now, personally, I don't think this is a bad way of doing it. Starmer's plan is to cut net migration. So last year we saw 728,000 in terms of net migration, and he also is saying that he wants to stop all illegal crossings by boat into our country. But many critiques and experts are saying this plan won't work, and here's why. Now, my question that I want answers to is, if people are allowed to be here at the moment for 5 years before getting their citizenship, then are they going to be here for the whole 10 years whilst waiting for citizenship? Because if they are, that's only going to cost us to house these people, to help them find jobs, to help them learn English, and to help them get out into the real world, to pay taxes. But 10 years is an awful long time to be spending the taxpayers' money just to find out if people are willing to work or not. Let me know your opinions down below in the comments. This is splitting the public view, and personally, I don't really know what to think about it. I have to say, I do like the fact that Keir Starmer and Labour are finally looking like they're doing something about it. However, is this just in response to Reform doing so well in the local elections? And are they now waking up to the fact that people want change? Let me know in the comments.
So there's a guy I know who also trots out this line, the idea that there is illegal immigration and legal immigration, and that the riots of the past few weeks are born not of violence, not of racism, and not of bigotry, but a simple, almost innocent disagreement about this country's migration policy. So come on, Alice, let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? So as a signatory of the UN's Refugee Convention, the UK has said in law that it is not illegal for anyone to come to the border and claim asylum. So whether they arrive by plane, train, or ferried across the English Channel by human traffickers, a person does not break any laws by telling border security, I am a refugee and I'm here to claim asylum. So they then undergo a rigorous and lengthy screening process. This is designed to confirm their identities and pore over the details of their stories. And these things have to add up. If there is even one hair out of place, the application is rejected, and the applicant is then asked to provide more information or clarification on a particular point. But this is about as far away from a rubber stamp method as you can get. And if the person's asylum claim is approved, they are usually granted a 5-year visa, after which they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. But if it gets rejected and they aren't granted an appeal, then they are deemed to have been an overstayer, and then they must leave the country. Of all the asylum applications processed in 2023, 66% were approved, and 33% were either rejected or withdrawn. And it's also true that of the 70% of all refugees in the world, they usually go to neighbouring countries. And of the total number, only 3% of refugees worldwide claim asylum in the United Kingdom. So if we put aside the mechanics of the application process, the questions we should be asking are, number one, does the Home Office have enough funding and resources to process applications? Number two, what resources are needed to help those who are granted asylum integrate into their communities? And number three, how are we going to measure whether these processes are actually working? Because the reality is that in the 74 years the Refugee Convention has been in place, not a single country has ever withdrawn from it. So it defines a key part of how the UK engages with the world, and it's too damn important to hope that it just sorts itself out. So in short, we've got a lot of work to do, and I hope that Sir Keir and his government are rolling up their sleeves.
If you want one video to summarise what's wrong with the UK, just watch this.
What's the reason for coming today?
I'm outraged that they think this is okay.
Yeah. What do you think they believe in?
I think that they're scared, probably.
Do they have a right to be scared?
No, absolutely not. Who
Especially
are you scared of?
I mean, there's been
scared of?
Well, I mean, there's
How can they be scared of people who have got nothing? Wouldn't you be running from like civil wars, climate change? Wouldn't you expect people to welcome you?
Of course, I mean, we should live in a society that's, you know, everyone's welcome, but at the same time, there's got to be surely some security risk with unknown people.
Why are you leading me into this?
That's just a general question.
Why don't you go and start a demonstration about homelessness?
Absolutely. I know why I'm here.
Ah, Jesus Christ. I don't know whether this woman is just completely oblivious or is just fucking stupid. But if you don't think the current rate of net migration is a problem, you don't think the NHS waiting times are a problem, illegal immigrants hanging around outside of primary schools isn't a problem, staff at hotels getting stabbed with screwdrivers isn't a problem, our tax money being spent on 4-star hotels, driving lessons and phones for people who have never worked a day in their life for this country or paid 1 penny of tax is a problem, then you need your fucking head checking. Also, a lot of these people coming to the UK pass through many countries with settlement programs, including France. Why? Because they know the UK is a soft touch and they'll get everything handed to them on a plate. Also, who the fuck is fleeing anywhere because of climate change? I've heard it fucking all now. And you having the audacity to tell people that they have no right to be scared whilst campaigning for other people's rights. Fucking hypocrite. This is just pure stupidity at its finest. Take these people into your fucking house if you don't like it that much. Fuck's sake. Let me know what you think in the comments.